Hello and welcome, sports fans, to this live video streaming event from Table Rock Sports Productions in partnership with our local school districts and outstanding sponsors who make these live presentations possible. Jim McCoy here along with Mark McLemore over on the camera, David Alvarez, coming to you live from Winston at Douglas High School in Winston, Oregon. We thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the Lithia Superstore pregame show, powered by Siskiyou Cellular in Southern Oregon and featuring the Douglas Trojans versus the Cascade Christian Challengers. We're pleased to bring you this game on TableRockSports.net in partnership with the Grace Cascade Christian School District and our sponsors and business partners. Joe Brett is the executive producer for this event. Our sponsors keep these events free for fans to enjoy. Please let them know you appreciate their support. Please help Table Rock Sports by subscribing to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, search Table Rock Sports, and we're getting ready for the national anthem, and we'll be right back after these messages.
What is a getaway? Is it leaving the familiar behind, or discovering a place that feeds your hunger, where passion sings, food is a culture, and every performance demands an encore? So let the journey be your destination. Then feast your eyes and nourish your soul in Southern Oregon. Your reservation starts when you travel Medford.
It's Jeep Adventure Days going on now at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course Ram trucks. Choose from our great selection of new Jeep Gladiator 4x4s or test drive a new 22 Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. During Jeep Adventure Days, you'll save big on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
You do when you get into a car accident and want to know your rights? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
It's Jeep Adventure Days going on now at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course Ram trucks. Choose from our great selection of new Jeep Gladiator 4x4s or test drive a new 22 Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. During Jeep Adventure Days, you'll save big on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
So what do when you get injured on the job and need to know your rights with workers' compensation? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Welcome back to Douglas High School in Winston, Oregon, up in the Roseburg area, out toward the coast. Many of you are familiar with the circumstances that bring us here. This game originally scheduled to be played in Medford, but due to bad air quality, it's moved over here to Winston, where the skies are much brighter and the air is much cleaner. Now, some of you may be thinking, aren't you starting a little early tonight? That's because we are. Unfortunately, there was a problem with a bank of lights here at Douglas High School, so we're going to try to get this game in before it gets too dark to see what's going on.
What's going on? Yeah.
So, well, Mark, you and I, this is our 13th year of working together, my 14th year of covering Challenger sports, and it just seems like week one isn't complete without a little trouble like this.
Something, right? There's always got to be something in week one that kind of messes with you, and it seems to be true for not only for us as broadcasters, but in some cases for field conditions like we're seeing here, or for the players or for the coaches as well. And this year, the other thing that we're dealing with is a new league for the Challengers. As you see, I don't know, most of you down the line may or may not know that reclassification happened again. You know, every 4 years, teams are reclassified based on school sizes and put in different leagues. And this year, the Challengers are in a ginormous league compared to what they were before. The Brookings was in our league before. Then there's Cascade. New to our league this year is Coquille. Douglas, of course, we're playing tonight. Lakeview, back from the 2A into the 3A again this year. Phoenix, down from the 4A, is in our league. North Valley is in our league from the 4A as well. South Umpqua, St. Mary's, and Sutherland. So a very large league to deal with for the Challengers this year. And as we get into basketball, then we're also going to see Rogue River in our league as well. So there's 10 teams now. Rogue River will add itself as we go forward, and it's an 11-team league that the Cascade Christian Challengers are playing in for most sports this year. So it'll be very interesting to see how things go, and it's just a different year all the way around for the Challengers.
Well, not only that, we're talking about a situation where we'll see a lot of newer faces out here this evening, although what's interesting as you take a look at the Douglas Trojans, and then as we get into the game, we'll get into the starting lineups, but we'll see a number of senior players on the team. As we see the captains out at midfield for Douglas, we see number 3 for the Trojans, their starting quarterback, John Osdemore. He's out there along with Preston Wyricks. He's kind of the senior leader along that line. And it looks like the Challengers will receive the opening kick for the ball game. But talk about something new. If you can look to your left and see the Challengers in white, you'll notice that Keith Reed, the Challengers starting quarterback, is on the shelf this evening. So the senior will watch this evening, and Ashton Moody will get the start. Junior, who's been in the system for a while, so he's not going to be a complete stranger to this. And as a matter of fact, if I remember, I think some of the first varsity snaps he ever saw as a Challenger have come on this field before. But it's going to be a different feel right now. He'll have the responsibility for leading this team. Fortunately for him, both of these teams are coming off of jamborees. The Trojans played up at Harrisburg last week, and then the Challengers had a jamboree as well, and so that gave Moody and some of the new faces. But Challengers, they've got 9 out of 11 spots filled by returning starters.
Yeah, and the one thing that you've got to realize with Moody is he has a lot of guys around him that know what they're doing. You mentioned it, 9 out of 11 starters. The difference is going to be for him is the speed of the game a little bit. He played a lot of JV last year for the Challengers, and he hasn't really played a lot of varsity minutes. And we've talked about it before, how this particular offense that the Challengers run is very quarterback-centric, and the quarterback has to make a lot of decisions in the offense. So that's where it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to make those decisions in a timely fashion. So it looks like they're getting ready to kick it off already, and so I guess we better wrap up the pregame show.
Yep, the pregame show brought to you in part by Lithia Superstore and Siskiyou Cellular in Southern Oregon, with 7 locations to serve you. Back deep to receive for the Challengers, we have Brody Sample wearing number 10 for Cascade, and over to his left is Tyler Almacy. A little onside kick action, and taking right there and falling on it for the Challengers,
Luke Wilson.
And let's go ahead and introduce the starting lineup for you for the Cascade Christian Challengers. We'll bring that up for you here right away. Challengers will come out with Ashton Moody at quarterback. Joining him in the backfield will be Tristan Wallace. Receivers, Tyler Almacy, Brody Sample, Peyton Maurer, and Christopher Freilich. Along the line, Bryson Jackson, Matt Moses, Daniel Nearing, and Jackson Turi, along with Jack Nips. First play, pass is complete. Making the catch and running down the sidelines is Brody Sample. He's got nothing but real estate, and he takes it to the house.
Great job by the Challengers on the little screen play to Sample, and it's a 49-yard touchdown for Brody Sample.
First play from scrimmage for Cascade Christian, and they get on the scoreboard. So Challengers take the quick 6-0 lead. It looks like the Challengers going to go for 2 here, as we see Cole Shields in the backfield joining Moody. Split out wide to the right for Cascade Christian. Peyton Maurer They'll go ahead and hand to Wallace. Wallace tries to bull his way up the middle.
And I don't think he got it.
And he'll end up being stopped just short. So, Cascade Christian quickly on the board. 6-0 game. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back after these messages on TableRockSports.net.
I just got the best deal at US Cellular. Just $29 for one line.
For the first month only, right? That's how they get you.
For as long as I want. Why so skeptical?
I was told she'd weigh 30 pounds.
Get unlimited data for just $29 per line, even just one, only at US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Get one line for just $29 at Siskiyou Cellular, the Rogue Valley's exclusive US Cellular authorized agent. Visit SOUScellular.com for details.
Bill's Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Cascade Christian off to a quick start tonight. First play from scrimmage, a 49-yard touchdown pass from Ashton Moody to Brody Sample. Kick is away, taken by the Trojans. Got some running room up the middle. Makes his way out to near middle field, about just across the 45-yard line to the 46. And that is where the Douglas Trojans will set up shop. Introduce the starting lineup to you. We'll have John Osdemore at quarterback. He'll be joined in the backfield by Brandon Willis, the receivers for you. Kahiki Nielsen, Wesley McWhorter, Sage Baker, and Alex Medianu. Along the line, Preston Wyricks, Caden Harris, Luke Linville, Eli Knight, and Kyler Middleton. First play from scrimmage. Willis will take it. But the Challengers wrap them up. And that'll bring up a second down and long.
Yeah, right in there that time for the Challengers. Cole Shields from his linebacker spot. Really getting to the running back before he got to the line of scrimmage. Lost about a yard on the play.
So that'll bring up a second down and 11. Osdemore, they hand it off for Willis. Willis gets across midfield.
Yeah, nice
Got
run that
close
time
to
by
a first
Willis.
down.
Make a good cut in the hole up the field and picks up about 10 yards on the play.
The Trojans not short on experience on this team. Willis, one of a number of seniors that we'll see on behalf of the Trojans this evening.
Third and short for the Trojans. Third and about a yard.
Osdemore out of the gun. Hands the ball to Willis. Terry got some penetration, but Willis glides right past him to pick up a Trojans first down.
Yeah, picks up about 4 yards on the play and picks up a nice first down for Douglas.
So the Trojans getting it going early here. 10-16 left to go. Douglas trailing 6-0 in the ball game. And like the Challengers, they'll go with 4 wide, single setback, along with quarterback. First pass of the ball game. Pass thrown out into the flat. Looked like there may have been a little breakdown in communication between Osdemore and his intended target. Looked like he's looking out there for Kahiki Nielsen.
Yeah, and fortunately for the Challengers, he didn't look down the field. He had the tight end wide open down the field. No Challengers around him. Actually threw the ball to the wrong receiver on that play because he had an open man down the field.
So that'll bring up a second down and 10. Hand is to Willis, but he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage.
Good penetration that time by the Challengers. Matt Moses in there on the tackle.
Looking at the Challengers starting defense tonight, Daniel Meering, Jackson Turi, Matt Moses along the line. The linebackers, Mason Hoffman, Tristan Wallace, Cole Shields, and Bryson Jackson. In the secondary, Wilson, Cameron Ragu, Tyler Almacy, and Brody Sample. 3rd and 10. Whistle blows, little laundry on the turf, and that's part and parcel usually for the first game of the season.
I think we have a false start on Douglas.
We're close enough to the action we can actually hear the official.
Well, that and there's not all the fans here because it's not time for the game, right? We're a little bit early still.
Yeah.
So if you were expecting a 7 o'clock kickoff, you wouldn't be here yet. And I think that's part of what we're seeing as well.
So they'll bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Actually, 3rd and 15 after the penalty.
Right. Osdemore throws it downfield.
Oh, dropped.
Looking for, looks like that's Nielsen over there across from us. Pass falls incomplete to bring up 4th down.
Yeah. Had Nielsen open on the pass, and he just dropped it. I think he thought it was going to get tipped by one of the linebackers for the Challengers, but it didn't, and hit him right in the hands, and he couldn't hang on to it. Challengers catch a break. He was pretty close to the 1st down marker, and now the Trojans will punt.
Good snap. It looks like that's Nielsen. That's a high, short kick that bounces to the turf, takes a Challenger bounce.
I think it hit one of the Douglas players, actually, so it should be dead at that spot where it hit him.
So the Challengers now take over with 9:04 left to go in the first quarter of play.
Challengers only ran one play in that first drive. Ran that wide receiver screen, little tunnel screen, and Brody Sample took it to the house for the Challenger touchdown, 49 yards, and Challengers now have the ball back on the 30.
Challengers go with twins to either side. Wallace in the backfield. Ashton Moody, junior quarterback. His first varsity start as Almacy goes in motion. 1st down carry for Wallace. Wallace gets some running room. He gets out and gets some room, and he'll move the sticks for Cascade Christian.
Yeah, Wallace with a nice cut, picks up about 18 yards on the play. Good blocking up front by that Challenger offensive line.
Defense for Douglas, they could do a 3-4 as well. Wyrix Knight and Tristan Marcellus on the line. Branson Willis, Sage Baker, Wesley McWhorter, and Caleb Cathy, the linebackers. Sumter, Nielsen, Baird, and Medianu are the secondary for Douglas. 1st and 10 for the Challengers at their own 47-yard line. Little carry there by Almacy out of the backfield. He'll make his way across the midfield marker down to about the 40-yard line. So a good pickup, nice running play for the Challengers to move the Challengers and give them a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, he picks up about 15 yards on the end around, and Douglas did a good job. Actually had him in their grasp, but Almacy able to get away from the first tackler and pick up big yardage for the Challengers.
So Challengers into Trojan territory. Single setback. Looks like that's Ragu into the ball game. Moody getting a little bit of pressure from the Trojans. Finds Almacy. He makes the catch. Breaks a tackle. And he'll move the Challengers into the red zone. Ashton Moody, in over 31 years, if I'm not mistaken, of Challenger football. He's the first left-handed quarterback in program history.
Well, there you go.
A little claim to fame. Moody making history in his first Challenger start at the varsity level. One of those kids who's come up through the Cascade system, excelled in middle school, and now here he is at the controls as he hands to Wallace. Wallace breaks it to the outside, sheds one tackler. Kyler Middleton making the stop for the Trojans.
And another 6 yards on that carry for Wallace, who's doing a good job of chewing up the rushing yards so far. Challengers with 39 yards rushing, all in this drive.
Ragu in the backfield, along with Moody. Out to split to the right, we have Peyton Maurer. Slot man is Almasi. Got Freilich and Sample to the left of the line of scrimmage. Almasi goes that way. Moody on the rollout, looking for Almasi. He makes the catch over across the way. Looked like here, Mark, if I'm not mistaken, he's got enough for another, as they do in Mazama. Challenger, first down.
As he picked up about 8 yards on the play and gets the Challengers inside the 5. Well, maybe just at the 6, excuse me. A little hard to tell in this field. They don't have really good markings on it, that's for sure.
So it'll be first and goal for the Challengers.
From the 6, I believe.
Moody hands the ball to Ragu. He powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Challengers.
Cameron Ragu with the touchdown. 6-yard touchdown for Cascade Christian puts them on the board again. And it looks like they're going to go for 2. It seems to be a theme so far.
Well, one of the things over the last few years, we've had JT Knobloch Scott as kicker, and he's not back this year. And so it's a little bit of an open question at this point. I suspect we might see Dylan Westlake as kicker eventually, but right now they're going to go for 2. And
no good.
They come up short.
Ashton Moody keeps the ball and does not get into the end zone. And so the Challengers not able to convert. I think they're going to have to clean that up as they get further along in the season. They're going to have to find somebody that can kick an extra point.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. Challengers lead in this one 12-0. We'll be back after these messages on TableRockSports.net.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
Here at Douglas, Challengers get ready to kick it away. That is Mason Hoffman with the kick. And we have the ball loose on the field. And it'll be Douglas ball. For almost 50 years, Bill's Glass has been the clear choice in Southern Oregon for your home, vehicle, or business needs. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass supports our schools and community. So everything coming up Millhouse for Challengers here to open the ball game.
Everything except the 2-point conversions. Other than that, it's been going pretty well.
But if you know that if the kicking game is the worst of your struggles to begin the season, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, you can. There's things you can fix. That's usually one you can fix.
On 1st and 10, breaking it to the outside, Douglas Trojans on the run, running down the sideline and taking it home. We have Alex Mediano with the score, and it's a 12-6 ball game. Touchdown, Trojans.
Yeah, 70-yard touchdown run, and boy, he's got some speed. As he got around the corner, no one was going to catch him, and he takes it all the way to the house. Nice blocking by the Trojans and a good hole for him to scamper through, and once he got through it, he was there. They were not going to catch him.
All right, we see an interesting setup here for the Trojans, and usually this kind of signals, well, we don't. Okay, here we go. They're going to go for 2. Osdemore goes out to his right, and he comes up short. Tyler Almacy there with the stop. And the Douglas Trojans get on the board. It's a 12-6 ball game with 6:13 left to go in the first quarter of play. We'll take a quick timeout and be back with more Friday night football action on TableRockSports.net.
Dear Dad, today was hard. You know how much I love you, and you know how much I love sports. I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports, I love to play, and I love my team. I want us both to enjoy the game, win or lose. But we can't if you always lose your temper. I hope you can cheer for me and the other players. It's about more than just the score. It's about us all enjoying the experience. I hope you can join me for my next game. I really want you to be there. Love, Katie.
No. Great sponsors keep the games coming for you, including Conger Morris Funeral Directors with a full range of planning and hometown heartfelt help through a difficult process, and by Travel Medford and Sport Ground, where the West Coast comes to play. So we got a little razzle-dazzle once again. I think we see adventures and special teams on both sides this evening.
Well, if you remember that, we've seen that in the past when we played Douglas. It's pretty regular occurrence for them. They don't seem to want to kick the ball deep, and usually they kick it out to the wings or onside kick, all kinds of different things that we've seen from them in the past, so not a big surprise there. Ashton Moody, I think, that time out there trying to catch that kickoff, bounced off his face mask, and luckily he pounced on it before it got away from him. And the Challengers have the ball.
They're right about
first and 10 of their 45.
On first down, Moody with the carry, but he is wrapped up near the line of scrimmage there to make the play for the Douglas Trojans. Linebacker Sage Baker, 5'10", 165-pound senior. And that'll bring up second down and long.
Yeah, I think that time Ashton went one way and all the running backs went the other way. So that was one of those broken plays, I guess I better run with it kind of things for the Challengers.
They'll give him a yard on the play. Moody claps his hands together. He has Wallace with the handoff. Wallace says, "This is how you do it." And he moves the sticks as he crosses midfield and gets in the vicinity of the 35-yard line of Douglas.
Yeah, and he's having his way so far in this one. 21-yard run there on 2nd and 9 for a first down, and the Challengers moving the football again.
First and 10 for Cascade. Ball just outside the 30-yard line. We'll say about the 33.
67 yards on the ground for the Challengers, 77 through the air so far. And the Challengers moving the ball at will against the Douglas defense.
Going in motion, Sample from the left side. They'll hand the ball to Ragu, who's in the ball game. He'll struggle his way ahead. Gets across the 30, down to about the 27.
Picks up about 7-8 yards on the carry.
Well, I tell you what, when Ragu's your change of pace back, you got a heck of a change of pace back.
Yes, you do. Both of those guys can really carry it. And now that we're seeing Ragu there in the backfield again.
Wearing number 5. Moody in front of him. Moody handing it off. Ragu makes a little cut and just keeps matriculating his way downfield for another Challenger first down.
85 yards now on the ground for the Cascade Christian Challengers, and 77 through the air. Very balanced so far here in the first quarter.
Ragu will stay in the ball game. Now they'll go with trips to the left inside slot as Almacy. On his right is Christopher Freilich. Over under on me saying Christian instead. I think we'll be at 2 tonight.
At least 2, I think. Just so hard to do.
And with the football, nice
Moody.
work there by Moody. Little deception there. And the Challengers finding early success with the ground game.
Another first down on the run by Moody, and the Challengers have it down inside. It looks like at the 1. First and goal.
Challengers knocking on the door, and I see Cole Shields is also in the ball game now. Looks like they've got Wallace in almost kind of a tight end H-back type spot.
Almost a fullback. I think you know where they're going with this football.
Hand to Shields. Shields trying to power his way in, and he scores.
And I don't know if you saw the block by Wallace. It was a trap block from that H-back spot. He traps the end, and boy, nice block by Wallace for the touchdown. So a 1-yard touchdown run for Cole Shields. Challengers on the board again.
So an 18-6 ball game. And once again, Challengers going for 2. Wallace in the backfield, along with the quarterback, Moody. Moody looking right for Maurer. That pitch, I said pitch. Well, in the spring, I would have been right.
Yeah.
And that went off target. So the 2-point conversion try, unsuccessful for Cascade. But they extend their lead against the Trojans. And now it's an 18-6 ball game with 3:16 left to go in the first quarter of play. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back after these messages with more football action on TableRockSports.net.
I just got the best deal at US Cellular. Just $29 for one line.
For the first month only, right? That's how they get you.
For as long as I want. Why so skeptical?
I was told she'd weigh 30 pounds.
Get unlimited data for just $29 per line, even just one, only at US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Get one line for just $29 at Siskiyou Cellular, the Rogue Valley's exclusive U.S. Cellular authorized agent. Visit SOUScellular.com for details.
Bill's Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
High kick by Mason Hoffman of the Challengers, and they come away with a fumble.
Ragu on the fumble recovery for the Challenger offense.
So as you can see on your John L. Scott scoreboard, Challengers with an 18-6 lead, and now the Challengers with a gift here. And another opportunity for 6. So Challengers moving the football at will. The Trojans with some success moving the football themselves. The challenge just being at this point, number one, the inability to stop the Challengers, and number two, the turnover that just occurred.
Yeah, you fumble a kickoff and you give it right back to the opponent, but not only do you give it back to him, it's deep in your territory at this point as the Challengers take over on the 29-yard line of Douglas, leading 18-6.
Wallace lined up behind the quarterback, Moody. Moody going to drop back, throw looking long for Peyton Maurer. Kind of a jump ball, and it's picked off.
Yep.
And coming away with the pick is Ethan Sumter.
So that ball a little bit underthrown. I think Maurer was open if he throws that ball a little bit further, and unable to do that. And Peyton unable to play some defense there and knock the ball away. And a nice interception by Douglas gives them the ball right back, but looks like it's on the 3-yard line. So Douglas with a long way to go here.
So the football giveth and the football taketh away. After a turnover on the return by the Trojans, they get it right back as Sumter makes the big play. Handoff. They try to struggle forward with the carry. Branson Willis
actually loses a yard.
Willis, 5'11", 190 pounds. So he's got some meat on his bones. Unfortunately there, no room, nowhere to go. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. 2:27 to go in the first quarter of play. Opening night for both teams.
Opening night for most of the teams across the OSAA tonight.
Correct. Many of them, including these two teams, had jamborees last week just to kind of shake off the rust. Osdemore. Good pass coverage by the Challengers. Tried to throw it over there in the flat. Cole Shields there with the coverage. I also see Luke Wilson back there. Luke, stepbrother of Ashton Moody, the Challengers quarterback. Now you know it's a Friday night because Don Sample's in the house, otherwise known these days as Brody's grandpa.
But he didn't bring us any hot
dogs. He
dogs.
didn't bring us anything. Well, yeah, well. The Trojans looking downfield, nearly picked off. Osdemore looking downfield. Brody Sample.
Yeah, had an opportunity to catch it and didn't, and the Trojans will punt.
So that'll bring up 4th down and 11. Trojans deep in their own territory. And they get ready to kick it away, and back deep to receive for the Challengers. We see Tyler Almacy and Brody Sample. Taking it is Sample. Sample heads toward the sideline. He'll pick up about 4 or 5 yards on the play, or that'll bring up a Challenger 1st down.
Yeah, 1st down for the Challengers, deep again in Douglas territory.
So Challengers scoring opportunity here. The turnover on the interception thrown by Moody does not haunt them here. And they get it back, and again, short field for Cascade with 1:54 left to go in the first.
Yeah, 27-yard line of Douglas for the Challengers. Great field position here for them to hopefully take advantage of.
Motion man is Tyler Almacy, and he'll end up taking it. There's penetration in the backfield, but Almacy ends up heading toward the sideline. Flag on the play as Almacy ends up being taken out of bounds.
Yeah, this one's coming back. I think we've got either a block in the back or a hold out on the edge, I think, against the Challengers.
Challenger offensive line. Tonight we see the likes of Bryson Jackson joining the crew this evening.
And it is a holding penalty against the Challengers. And I think it was actually on one of the wide receivers trying to come back inside and block out there on the edge.
So that'll move it back. Again, kind of trying to mark the exact spot on the field with the way it's chalked up. a little challenging to try and figure out, but Challengers with a 1st and 15. Moody hands to Wallace. Wallace right straight up the middle. He gets back the penalty yardage. Looks like he might have picked up about maybe 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Yep, nice run. Nice first down run. Puts him in 2nd and 10. Gets, as you mentioned, all those penalty yards back. And so far the Challengers have done a decent job. They're over the 100 yards here in the first quarter rushing the ball.
Looks like we might have Shields in the backfield now for Cascade. They'll hand it to Cole. Cole shakes loose of a tackler. He keeps burrowing his way forward. And if he didn't get the first down, he's darn close.
He's close. I think he got about 7 or 8 yards on that carry and puts the Challengers in 3rd and short.
We'll call it about a 3rd and 2.
Clock running out here in the first quarter, 40, 39 and counting seconds left here in the first quarter. Challengers leading 18-6.
Moody hands the ball to Shields. This time defensively.
I think he's just going to be short, it looks like to me.
Wesley McWhorter burst through that line. Looked like he got a hand on Shields.
And it makes it 4th down and about a yard. And if you're the Challengers, I think you just let the clock run out here in the quarter and decide what play you want to run after the quarter ends. But it looks like they're going to line up and try to get one off before the quarter ends.
Moody lets the clock run, and that will end the first quarter of play. Your score at the end of 1, the Challengers 18, the Trojans 6. We'll take a quick timeout, and then we'll be back with more Friday football action on TableRockSports.net.
It's game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
We love our sports here.
It's our responsibility to keep them great. And we need you to know your role.
You can be a player.
You can be a coach. You can be a spectator.
Or an official.
But you only get to be one. Know your role.
Parents, release your kid to the game.
It's my experience.
Don't yell at the refs. They have a hard job.
Know your role.
Players, respect your opponents.
Love to play, win or lose.
Know your role.
So what do when you get injured in a motorcycle accident and you need legal help? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Well, just found it. All right, welcome back to the start of the second quarter. The Challengers, short yardage situation with a 4th down and 1.
Trojan fans, the Snack Shack is open this evening. Stop on by for some amazing snacks.
Challengers in that first quarter, 116 yards on the ground, 77 through the air. So a nice total, a little over 200 yards for Cascade Christian in the first quarter.
Moody with Shields behind him. And Moody ends up kind of doing a delayed handoff, and Shields lurches forward for a first down.
That was a tough run by Shields as he basically took a hit right at the line of scrimmage, was able to bounce off of that and pick up about 8 yards and a first down for the Challengers. Big first down for Cascade Christian on 4th and 1.
The Challengers on the move to begin the second quarter of play. And again, you may be joining us late and going, wait a minute, how did we get here so fast? And what happened, the game had to start at 6:30. If you can look across from us, you see that there's a bank of lights that is not operable this evening. So,
trying to get the game in as much as they can before the lights are needed.
Moody drops back, looks to throw, looking for a man, and just overthrows his intended target over there in the corner of the end zone, Christopher Freilich. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, good opportunity there. Freilich looked like he was open. Moody just overthrew that one just a little bit. Remember, he underthrew the one earlier that got intercepted to Peyton Maurer, and this time he overthrows. So, it's going to take some time for him to get adjusted being the varsity starter.
Absolutely. A little change of pace, a little bit faster game, and you figure, the best of who you saw earlier is the average guy now.
Yes.
Moody on a 2nd down and 10. Hands the ball to Shields. Shields works the right side of that line of scrimmage. And they're wrapping it up. It looked like we had Kahiki Nielsen there with the stop.
And Shields picks up another 5 yards for the Challengers, bringing up 3rd and 5. I'd like to see him throw that tunnel screen again that they threw to Brody for a touchdown. This would be a good place on the field to try that again.
So 3rd down at about 5. Ragu in the backfield. We also see Wallace in there, so Challengers changing it up just a little bit. Moody hands the ball off. And
Wallace is in for the touchdown.
Wallace punches it in. Touchdown, Challengers.
From about 6 yards out, 7 yards out, touchdown. Ragu, his 2nd so far in the game.
So Challengers looking to go for 2. Ragu in the backfield, and once again lined up as a fullback, almost kind of, I guess you'd say, an offset eye look. Moody with it, and he tries to find the corner, and he gets in. The Challengers go for 2 and get it this time. And your score, with 10:53 to go in the first half, it's the Challengers 26 and the Trojans 6. We'll be back following these messages.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore on the camera, taking the pictures. David Alvarez. Challengers leading the ball game 26-6. Mason Hoffman getting it ready to kick it away for the Challengers. End over end kick. Kind of a high pop-up kick. And that'll be taken, I believe that's Sage Baker. He'll get out across the 30-yard line up to about the 32, and that's where Douglas will take over with 10:45 left to go in the first half of play. And it just seems like, while the Trojans have had some success moving the football, they just haven't had much opportunity.
Now, the Challengers have really dominated in the number of plays they've run so far in this game, and when the one big play that Douglas had turned into a 70-yard touchdown, and that's how they got on the board. That Challenger defense giving up the big play. Other than that, only 12 yards rushing and no completed passes so far for Douglas.
Osdemore hands to Willis, but Willis is wrapped up in the backfield. Nice stop by Cascade Christian. Defensive play. That is Liam Bonatti in the ball game.
Yep, nice stop by Liam for a couple-yard loss.
Liam, 245-pound senior two-way lineman. We'll see him on offense. We'll see him on defense. Challengers able to do a little more platooning this year, Mark, than they have historically, but you was still program this size, you're going to see a lot of two-way guys.
Yeah, a lot more depth, though, than we've seen, especially in the line area for the challengers.
Osdemore dropping back, looking to throw, and nearly picking it off. Cameron Ragu.
Yeah, it looked like Ragu was going to be late to the ball, but he made up some ground in a hurry from his safety spot, able to knock that ball down and keep Douglas in check there. Just a nice response from him, getting over to the receiver right as the ball was getting there and knocking it away. Almost had a chance to pick it off.
Ragu has shot up this year. He's a sophomore. He's gone from probably about 5'10" to 6'2".
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's grown.
Osdemore getting some pressure from Wallace. Pass is complete, however, and picking up first down yardage for the Trojans, Wesley McWhorter.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Osdemore standing in there and making a good throw down the middle when he was getting a lot of pressure around him, and they pick up about 15 yards and a first down.
Well, I tell you what, that's when you find out a kid's mental fortitude, when he knows he's going to get whacked and he still gets the play away and makes a great one there.
Yeah, and throws a good ball, too, right to his receiver.
Osdemore, he's going to fake the handoff, and he'll take off himself and does a good job on the sell there. And nice pickup of about 7 yards on first down.
Gain of 7, second down.
Now he brings the team into challenger territory.
And we see Douglas moving the football again here in the second quarter.
Second down and 3 with 9:06 left to go in the half. Into the ball game for the Trojans. We see Caleb Cathy. Osdemore dropping back, and he's got pressure. Wallace bearing down on him.
And just wondering where the receiver was that he's supposed to be throwing that football to, because that looked a lot like intentional grounding to me.
You could make the case for it.
And he's just getting rid of the football there, and really no one in the area. Officials are probably giving him a little bit of a warning there, looked like. Because remember, in high school, you have to have a receiver in the area. There's no throwing the ball out of bounds or any of that kind of stuff like you can do at the higher levels.
Correct me if I'm wrong, there's no box either.
No, there is no box.
No tackle box.
No tackle box.
Third down and 3. Taking the snap as Osdemore. Once again, he gets pressure, but he completes the catch. Nice catch made by the Trojans. And there to haul it in. Oh, it falls incomplete. Sorry about that.
It looked like he caught it, but a couple of the officials confirm that he didn't catch it, so it's fourth down.
Well, it would have been a heck of a catch if Mediano had hauled it in. As it was, he had to make a real athletic play to make that happen.
So fourth down and 3. It looks like the Trojans are maybe a long 2. Looks like the Trojans are going to go for it here.
Ball at the Challenger 45, 8:42 to go in the half. Osdemore. And once again, he's going to go ahead and take off with it. And he picks up first down yardage and more.
Osdemore on the first down carry.
Yep, nice job by him of pulling the ball on the quarterback read. Picks up 7 yards, gives the Douglas Trojans another first down.
Well, hey, it worked before. Why not try it again?
Well, and that's where you're the challengers. You've got to make sure that you've got contain on the edge as he gets around the hedge after the fake handoff and actually made it look fairly easy picking up that first down.
8:35 to go on the half. Wind kicking up. Definitely cooler in the Winston area than what we're used to in Medford. And the pass tipped away. Big Jackson, Turi.
Yeah, nice job by Jackson getting in there and getting his hands up and knocking that one down.
Well, there's another kid that's grown. Turi now listed at 6'4". Cascade historically not used to having all these big hosses.
No, they're really not. And this is probably one of the biggest Cascade teams they've had in years. Might have to go back to, clear back to like Hayden Sean's year to even be close to what they have this year.
Pass complete. Doesn't look like he really got anything out of it.
Looked like a middle screen.
Thanks to our sponsors for powering our live high school athletic streams, including our title sponsor, Lithia Superstore Jeep Dodge Chrysler. Visit lithiasuperstore.com to find your next ride. Also, thank you to our presenting sponsor, SKU Cellular of Southern Oregon, with 7 locations to serve you. Yeah, it's the first night of the season for the announcer, too.
Yeah. 3rd and 9 now for Douglas.
3rd and 9 play. Willis shakes off a would-be tackler. Ragu, though, wraps up Willis. He'll be short of the first down after a pickup. Looks like he'll probably pick up about 4 or 5 on the play.
Yeah, that time it looks like Jack Nips was there and couldn't wrap him up. Picks up a few yards after he gets around Jack.
4th and 5. At this situation, you know they're going to go for it, and they do here. He's looking for Nielsen. Pass off target. Coverage back there by the challengers. You see Brody Sample back there along with Cameron Ragu. Also back there for Cascade, wearing number 34. I believe that's Brendan Van Wart, challenger linebacker, junior.
Well, and the challengers get their defense off the field there with a turnover on downs by Douglas. Douglas with a nice little drive, though. They did change the field position. You know, I think they started back at their own 30-yard line and drove it all the way down to the challenger 32. Unable to convert on 4th down. And, you know, but a nice little drive for them to change the field position. And the challengers do get it back with 7:07 to go in the second quarter, leading 26-6.
Moody at quarterback. He has twins to the right side. The ground game just keeps chewing up yardage. Picking up about 8-9 yards on the play. Tristan Wallace to bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, nice job by Tristan. He's having a good half here running the football for the challengers. Him and Ragu doing most of the work for Cascade Christian.
2nd down and 1. Wallace with it again. He bursts through to pick up another challenger 1st down.
Baker on the tackle.
Sage Baker making the stop, but not before Wallace moves the sticks for Cascade Christian as they cross midfield. Ragu now into the challenger lineup to spell Wallace. We'll have trip receivers out to the left. Ragu with the carry.
And the one thing you'll see the challenger offense do, if you're not going to stop a play, they're just going to keep running the same play. And you just see that middle run now. They ran like 3 times in a row, and they're right back to the line of scrimmage. And, you know, they'll just repeat that same play until you stop it. And so far, Douglas not able to do that. 6 yards on the carry that time for Ragu.
Moody hands the ball to Ragu. No, wait a minute. He keeps it. Does a great job there. Fakes out the announcer.
Yeah, he kept it that time. I thought Ragu had it myself, and there's a flag though out on the edge there. I think we probably got another holding call. So this one looks like it's coming back.
But a nice looking play there, and I think again, you know, those are one of those plays where you really see timing at work.
Yep.
And the practice that goes into getting that timing down perfectly so that you do a fake and you sell it successfully.
Absolutely. So it's going to take the challengers back and make this 2nd down and probably about 14 or 15. We'll see where they spot the ball.
Don't have an exact number on the penalty. So, I mean, relatively, you know, for first night out, haven't been too bad in the penalty department. Second and long for the challengers. Will actually make that a 2nd and 14. Ragu with the football. He gets back some of the penalty yardage and then some. Pick up about 5 or 6 on the play. We'll call it about a 3rd and 8 or 9. Whistle blows.
Timeout, Cascade.
Timeout called on the field with 5:37 left to go in the first half. Make sure a visit to Tap Rock Northwest Bar and Grill on the banks of the Rogue River is included on your next trip to Grants Pass. First-class food and a new menu awaits you. The gem of the Thomason Hospitality Group, Tap Rock. Opening night for the Challengers up against the Trojans. The Trojans winless in the fall of 2021 after compiling a 3-2 record in the spring campaign of 2021. Certainly see from the first half here, and I'm sure, Mark, as we look at the first half statistics, we'll find that when Douglas has had the ball, they've demonstrated an ability to move it, but Challengers giving the opposition a taste of the medicine that they're used to receiving in terms of keeping the opposing offense off the field.
Oh, absolutely. The Challengers doing a good job of running the football, which is, typically they do a better, they're more mixed with the run and the pass, but in this game they've just pretty much just run it. In this second quarter, only thrown the ball one time.
Moody with a pair of wideouts to his left. Ragu behind him. Challengers doing running back by committee. We've also seen Cole Shields in the lineup. Almacy will go in motion. Snap goes over his head, but Moody does a good job of picking it up, and he has a block, and he'll run it to the outside down the sideline, but I believe this one's coming back due to a flag out there on the edge as he takes it to the house.
Yeah, it's coming back.
So Moody gets his steps in.
I actually don't know that it should come back, to be honest with you. It looked like a pretty good block to me, but the flag's thrown. It's one. Yeah.
And as we have the Trojan student section to your right, you're going to hear them chanting, "You can't do that."
And I'm thinking they're calling a blindside block here. Yep, that's what they're calling. And if you played football back in the 80s and 90s and even 2000s, that was not a call that was made. As long as you hit somebody above the waist, which is what happened there. That's one of those football plays that is supposed to be making the game safer. And, I kind of understand it to some degree, but I also think football's football and,
Well, let's put it this way: you can understand it, but you don't have to like it.
Yeah, I don't really like it. I mean, he didn't destroy him; he just blocked him, and he blocked him above the waist. And yet, the new rules make that a penalty.
So this will be a passing situation, no doubt, for the Challengers. A third and very long for Moody. He'll get a chance to throw one and completes it to Sample. Sample with the catch, spins around and gets up back towards midfield, where the Challengers will end up well short of the first down.
Yep. And so now the Challengers, I would assume, would punt the ball, being that they're on their own side of the field here. And it looks like Moody may be the punter. Who is the punter? I don't even know this year.
Or you think maybe going to try to see if they can't draw them off?
Not exactly sure what they're doing here. It looks like Moody's
okay, he's
dropping
gonna
back to punt.
Yeah. Of course, one of the nice things when you have your quarterback punting, there's always the possibility of the fake, although you would think the down and distance wouldn't. Oh, well.
No, he's just going to run over and punt it out of bounds.
And that'll end up kind of a short kick that ends up going out of bounds, hitting a trash can on the sidelines. And now the Trojans will get it back. Down by 20 with 4:19 left to go.
And that punt just basically went as far as the first down. The Challengers had to go for a first down. So not a very good punt either for the Challengers. And you're right, Cascade Christian with the penalty that really caused them to be, third and forever. And Douglas with the football back after a very short punt.
The Trojans get it at their own 44-yard line. Osmore will go ahead and hand it to Willis, but Willis wrapped up in the backfield. Nice stop made defensively by Cascade Christian. there is Daniel Nearing, the 6'3", 250-pound senior.
And nowhere to go that time as he lost a couple of yards on the play.
So you can see up in front right now for the Challengers. Got Turi over on the left side. Nose tackle is Nearing, and then over on the right is Liam Bonatti. Brendan Van Mort in the ball game as a linebacker. Osdemore has pressure coming, gets the throw away, and from here it looks like the pass complete. And Nielsen picks up first down yardage.
Yeah, 19 yards on the play and a big first down for the Trojans.
Once again, Challengers bringing lots of pressure, but Osdemore showing poise under that pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
To complete it. First and 10 at the 40 of Douglas. Osdemore has pressure coming, and he's got a man open.
And it's
intercepted. Intercepted by Cascade Christian. Running up the sideline, Cameron Ragu.
Intercepted at the 25.
McKenna had a jump ball type of play going on over there, and Ragu, who's been kind of knocking on the door throughout the evening, comes away with one.
And there's a Douglas player down.
Douglas player down, and we'll see here if we can't take a quick break here. With a 30-second ad here. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back. Douglas High, Challengers lead 26-6. Back in 30 seconds.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
He set out the whole side. I guess he got slugged in the gut in the first half. And
yeah.
So we're back at Douglas here in Winston. A beautiful Friday night here, kind of a little bit breezy. You can definitely tell a little more proximity to the coast over here, out Highway 42. And a good place to be this evening with the ups and downs related to the smoke from the wildfires in southern Oregon. Challengers lead 26-6, a horse collar penalty called against Douglas.
Adds a few more yards onto the end of the play, and the Challengers have it at the 28-yard line of Douglas now.
Challengers on a 1st and 10. Moody throws.
Dropped.
And it is dropped. Intended target, Brody Sample.
Yeah, Brody just not able to hang on to it there. It started to look up the field before he caught it.
Got to look those in.
Yep.
So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
And the Challengers doing most of the damage we mentioned by the run, as they've run 21 times in this game in the first half. 21 rushes and only 7 pass attempts.
Wallace takes the handoff. He'll glide to his right, cuts back inside. He'll pick up first down yardage. Or he's pretty close to it. It looked like for a minute like he had it, and then, he does.
He does. Picks up about 12 or 13 yards on the play.
So the Challengers keep it moving here. They're in the red zone now, down at about the 17-yard line.
Challengers with 181 yards on the ground in the first half.
Well, that's, they have uncovered the winning recipe quite quickly. Moody gets a little bit of pressure, rolls out, heads downfield, looking for Shields.
had him, but just a little out in front of him.
Yeah, it was just kind of off the fingertips. Maybe just a little bit more to the right than you'd have had it.
I do like him rolling out to his left, though. He looked a lot more comfortable rolling out to his left and throwing that way.
So after the incomplete pass, that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 for Cascade. 17-yard line with 2:35 left to go in the half. Out to the left, wide is Sample. Slot man to that side is Tyler Almacy. It's Maurer and Freilich off to the right. Hand to Ragu. Ragu rumbles, bumbles, stumbles forward. And it looks like he'll take it down to about the 2.
So a 15-yard run right up the middle for Ragu.
So it'll be a 1st and goal for the Challengers. And you kind of got the feeling in that Mail Tribune article we saw today that there was just that kind of that sense that we were going to see a lot of the Challenger ground game, maybe more so than we've seen in recent history.
Timeout, Douglas.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and keep it right here. Want to remind you that today's game is brought to you in part by Avista Utilities and our friends from Pinnacle 365, fueling your adventure to see 21 pilots in Portland. Download the Peak Rewards app to earn free fountain drinks and coffee. Also, Table Rock wants to thank our regional sponsors, including Sherm's Thunderbird and Food for Less, John L. Scott Real Estate, and Travel Medford, and the Southern Oregon Sports Commission. Great partners in keeping high school athletics streaming for you. Well, in that spread offense, Mark, you always think it's like, you think of that as being a passing offense. But
no, ask Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of coaches out there that spread the ball to run the ball. So, it's not unusual if you've got the offensive line, which the Challengers definitely have this. You're very experienced line up front. I think pretty much everyone back from last year. And obviously they've dominated this game in the first half. 196 yards rushing for Cascade Christian.
Moody with Ragu on his right. And they'll go ahead and hand the ball forward. He leans forward, and he gets in.
Touchdown Challengers.
So another touchdown for Ragu, his 3rd of the game.
Cameron Ragu extends the Challenger lead, making it a 32-6 ball game. And once again, it looks like from here they're going to go for 2.
More adventures and extra points.
So we have Wallace in there along with Ragu. And it looks like it's going to be kind of a wildcat type play. Wallace takes it, runs his way through, and it is good.
Yeah, nice job by that offensive line. Again, opened a big hole for Wallace, and he takes it in.
So Challengers score and extend their lead with 1:57 to go in the first half. We'll take a quick timeout and be back with more here on TableRockSports.net.
I just got the best deal at US Cellular. Just $29 for one line.
For the first month only, right? That's how they get you.
For as long as I want. Why so skeptical?
I was told she'd weigh 30 pounds.
Get unlimited data for just $29 per line, even just one, only at US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Get one line for just $29 at Siskiyou Cellular, the Rogue Valley's exclusive US Cellular authorized agent. Visit souscellular.com for details.
Bill's Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Branson Willis, boy, we're away at the break. Nice kickoff return there. Gives the Trojans solid field position here late in the first half of play. See over on the sideline right now, the quarterback, John Osdemore, being tended to on the sidelines. Looks like he's got his left ankle being worked on.
Yeah, it looks like they're taping it. Might have got a little sprain during one of those plays at the end of Douglas's last possession. So different quarterback now in the game for Douglas.
Can't get a good look at him just yet. Cathy into the ball game for the Trojans as you see him scamper over to the far side of the field. And taking the snap.
Handing it off.
A little ground game action for the Trojans.
Luke Robbins, number 12, in at quarterback.
Robbins, 5'10", 175, a sophomore for the Trojans. No doubt after Osdemore graduates after this year, Robbins, the heir apparent to the job, getting a little action here as they tend to Osdemore. They're continuing to work on him on the sidelines to get him taped up to return to the game. Robbins has a pair of receivers out to his right. Takes the snap, hands it off. Lunge forward for a gain of a couple of yards on the play. Jack Nips there for the Challengers to make the stop.
And the Challengers took a timeout. Not sure why right there.
Today's game is brought to you by Schlesinger and de Villeneuve, with attorneys with practices throughout Southern Oregon, and the Southern Oregon Sports Commission's Know Your Role campaign, promoting respectful and civil behavior at youth sporting events. Now, I got a question for you, Mark. You ever do cornhole?
I've done it a couple of times, very rarely.
Here's an opportunity. Cornhole players, get ready for the Southern Oregon Sports Commission's 2022 Cornhole Classic.
Oh, geez.
October 8th and 9th at the Expo's Old Red Arena. A $6,000 purse is up for grabs.
Oh, wow.
With entry fees just $100 per team and 12 games guaranteed. To go to travelmedford.org to get in the game.
Yeah. You know, I think that'd be a good fundraiser for some football program maybe.
I think so. Pass complete. And we've seen him, McWhorter, make a couple of nice plays this evening. Actually, that's Mediano.
That's Mediano, and he's the one that had the long end around for the touchdown earlier, so you're right.
That scrunched up 0 looked like an 8 there for a minute, but again, nice wheels. Robbins hands it off on first down.
Willis on the carry.
Willis. Pick up, we'll say about 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up, and we have about 17 seconds left to go in the half.
And if you're the Challengers, you just want to protect your deep areas. You got to realize that looks like Douglas not going to run another play.
6 seconds left and counting in the first half. The whistle sounds, and that will, well, actually the Trojans
are going to take a timeout so they can throw a Hail Mary, I would guess, at this point. Why not, right?
Sure, absolutely.
With only 2 seconds left on the clock, he can just huck it in the end zone and see, or down toward the end zone, see if anyone can catch it for you.
Absolutely. Well, while we're talking about some local events going on, tickets are on sale now for the Medford Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet, October 22nd at the Rogue Valley Country Club. Social hour at 5. Dinner and awards begin at 5. Go to MedfordParksFoundation.org and click the events tab. And as I recall, Mark, it's quite a star-studded and a fairly good-sized class this year.
Yeah, a lot of local talent getting inducted this year at all levels, coaches and players.
Well, now, your father-in-law's in the Medford Sports Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Yes.
Dean Benson, longtime coach at the old Medford Senior High. Pass thrown downfield, and it is complete. Kahiki Nielsen hauls it in, and that will end it for the first half of play.
Yes, it will. A nice throw that time by the backup quarterback, Robbins. and stood in the pocket again. 20-yard completion, and that's the end of the half.
So after one half of football, it is the Cascade Christian Challengers 34 and the Douglas Trojans 6. We'll pause for messages, and when we return, we'll have the Medford Parks halftime show for you coming up here on TableRockSports.net.
Huh?
You do when you don't know the first step in applying for Social Security disability? It's easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with Crispy Crunchy Chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
There's a time machine that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
Rushing yards. 8, 6, 14.
Welcome back to Winston. An unexpected trip up to the land of wildlife safari as the Challengers and the Trojans square off for their season opener. This game set to be played in Medford this evening at Lithian Driveway Park. However, because of the smoke from the wildfires and the degraded air quality, moving things here up north, where not only we see better air, but we also have cooler temperatures. I want to remind you today that our halftime report is brought to you by the Medford Parks and Recreation Department. The Fall Recreation Guide is out. Did you know it's full of classes and activities for our friends 55 and older? Visit playmedford.com or call 774-2400 to learn more. And a humbling realization for me, Mark, 55 and over, that's me. All right, recapping the scoring from the first half. Challengers on their first play from scrimmage. Ashton Moody with a fine how do you do. Completes a pass to Brody Sample, a 49-yarder for the touchdown. 2-point conversion attempt no good as the Challengers go up 6-0. And with 6:31 to go in the first, it was Cameron Ragu with the first of his 3 touchdowns on the night. Cameron ran it in from 6 yards out. 2-point conversion unsuccessful as it makes it a 12-0 game. And as we mentioned from the first half, that the Trojans, no inability to move the football, especially via the ground game. The Trojans got on the board thanks to a 70-yard touchdown run from Alex Medianu. 2-point conversion no good to make it a 12-6 game. Challengers turn right around 3 minutes later, and they get a 1-yard run from Cole Shields. The 2-point run, no good to make it 18-6. Then in the second quarter, it was more of the Cameron Ragu show. Not only did he have a pick in the game, but he also picked up 2 more scores. With 10:53 to go in the half, Cameron scores with a 7-yard run. The 2-point conversion by Moody was good to make it 26-6. And then the Challengers, just before the end of the half, with 1:57 to go, Cameron Ragu scores on a 3-yard touchdown run. Wallace runs it in on a direct snap play to make for a successful 2-point conversion to give us our halftime score of 34-6. Meanwhile, Mark is whittling away at the halftime stats. We'll go ahead and take a quick break to recognize our sponsors. The Medford Parks and Recreation Department invites you to discover all the great classes, field trips, activities, and sports leagues for the fall activities coming up. Visit playmedford.com. That's playmedford.com to find something for everyone in the family. Time for a quick break, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
takes meticulous planning. Continuous monitoring. And forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Come enjoy the patio weather and a brand new menu at Tap Rock Northwest Grill, where friends and family gather and memories are made. Come visit us today or visit our website.
Welcome back to Douglas High in Winston. And
Close enough,
we've got the Medford Parks and Rec halftime show for you. And right now, to give us the halftime stats, here's Mark McLemore with the tail of the tape.
Yeah, so far in the first half, what's a couple of interesting things. You mentioned it. Douglas has been able to move the football. The Challengers, have taken advantage of a couple of Douglas turnovers for short field scores to really sort of balloon the score on the scoreboard. But Douglas, if you look at it statistically, Douglas has 9 first downs in this game. They ran the ball 14 times for 103 yards. That 70-yard run kind of helps your average, if you know what I mean, on that one play. But 14 times for 103 yards passing. They're 5 for 15 for 63 yards. And some of those by, a little bit by Robbins. He threw 3 times, and the others by Asamoah. So 5 for 15 for 63 yards, and the 1 interception that Cameron Ragu basically pulled away from the receiver, if you remember right. It looked like both of them had it there for a second, and Ragu just pulls it away and runs it back, quite a distance, and puts the Challengers in good field position where they went on to score as well. So a nice job by the Challenger defense, and all in all. But 5 for 15 with the 1 interception for 63 yards for Douglas quarterbacks. Return yards for Douglas, they had 50 yards in returns on various punts and kicks in that first half. 216 yards of total offense for the Douglas Trojans. 2 penalties for just 15 yards, and they did lose a fumble, remember, on a kickoff as well that turned into an easy score for Cascade Christian. So the scoreboard is actually worse than the statistics show as far as the first half goes. Douglas has gained some yards both on the ground and through the air, and has those 9 first downs. So they've done a decent job of moving the ball a little bit. Just the Challengers have done a better job, as they have 11 first downs, Cascade Christian, in the first half. Rushing yards for the Cascade Christian Challengers, 23 carries for 199 yards. Austin Moody throwing the football 4 for 8 for 87 yards and the 1 interception, and Cascade with just 10 yards in returns. Total offense for the Challengers, 296 yards in the first half. Penalties, Cascade Christian 3 for 35 yards. So the Challengers, have had some short field and been able to take advantage of that, and really have, put the points on the board when they had the opportunities, and lead it here 34-6 at the end of the first half.
All right, now we are kind of beginning to work our way through some technology here, and I'm beginning to wonder, see if we can't pull up maybe a couple of highlights from the first half. See if we can get it to cooperate here. Let me see. We'll find out what we've got here. And I am not getting that to work. Well, back to the drawing board with that. What we'll go ahead and do right now is we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. The Challengers lead at the half, 34-6. Grateful, I guess, before we go to break, just grateful for the fact we're able to get this game in. When you think about, back a year, how much things change in a year. Last year we had COVID hanging over our heads, and we had smoke in Central Oregon. We were playing over at Lapine, and the game got stopped at halftime, and they got wiped off the books the following week. Challengers supposed to play Mazama, and they ended up over at Crater, and they ended up having the game canceled because of COVID. Here tonight, I think we're just grateful to get this game going, even if it meant a 100-mile trip up the road. And thank goodness for the folks at Douglas to able to host us this evening.
Yeah, and not only that, thank goodness for the cooler weather, too. I actually feel like I maybe should have brought a sweatshirt, believe it or not. And I don't think I would have felt that at all if we were down in the valley. So you mentioned some of that onshore flow from the coast, and we have pretty clear skies here. With the only real thing that I wonder how this is going to go in the second half, and it's going to be for both teams, is as you look out on the field, you can probably see from the camera shot that one of the light posts across the way is non-functional. So there's a bit of the field that's dark over on the far side. And we'll see how that plays out in the second half.
Well, imagine right now in Medford, it's 88 degrees. Here in Winston, 66.
Yeah.
That was one of the things. My wife and I lived up here for a few years early in our marriage, and you could always figure in the summer that this area would be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than Medford, and then the winter it would be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer.
Yeah, because of that onshore flow from the coast that you get here.
Well, then also with the elevation, I believe, and that's one thing that you don't realize is that Roseburg's right about 400 feet above sea level, and then Medford runs right about 1,200 feet.
Yep.
So anyway, great night to be here. Great night for football to kick off the 2022 season. Want to remind you that coming up next week, we'll be bringing you every varsity football game here on TableRockSports.net, and it's scheduled for the Challengers to take on the Sutherland Bulldogs.
At home, hopefully, if we can get rid of some of that smoke. But it sounds like there's another fire I heard that started in Weed today. So it's, it's going to be a play-it-by-ear one again next week, I think, and we may be up in Sutherland, depending on what the weather pattern and the wind direction and all those kinds of things next week. So it'd be really nice to have a home game that we're supposed to have.
Absolutely. Well, and then I suppose this gives me opportunity to remind folks, for those of you who are fans of Challenger Sports, that we have our athletics website, challengerathletics.com, and throughout the week, for example, today when we learned about where the game was going to be, what time the game was going to be, that we posted the information there as quickly as possible, and that can help keep you up to date here. And then, of course, tonight, once the game gets in, get back home, we'll input the story and score highlights from that ball game. Also, you can keep up on what's going on with the Challenger volleyball game. They got in a pair of matches yesterday on the road, taking on a couple of Eastern Oregon teams. So everything's up and running, and school starts next week. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout. Challengers lead at the break, 34-6. We'll be back in 1 minute.
What do you do when you don't know the first step in applying for Social Security disability? It's easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with Crispy Crunchy Chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
There's a time machine that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
For football, we do them all. Back here at Douglas High School, Challengers lead at the break with we're just a couple minutes away from the beginning of the second half. The sun, as you can see, is beginning to work its way down. At least we have a decent amount of light here from the lights. We'll just kind of see how that goes as far as being able to get a good second half of football in.
Yeah, you can see the one light bank over on the far side of the field not really functional. So I think when you're going that direction, you're going to want to stay on the left side of the field.
Well,
here's see how that plays out.
So here's a sight to see. Maybe David could turn the camera real quick. There's just something that just stands out at you. You can't help. But if you look over at the Challenger sideline, there is one of those. Which one of these is not like the others? You see a very tall young man,
yep,
the twin brother of Peyton Maurer, the Challengers 3A Boys Basketball Player of the Year, Austin Maurer, over on the sidelines, and I understand he is now a true 7-footer.
Yep, and grew a couple more inches this last off season and putting in a lot of work, spending a lot of time playing games all over the country at showcases, and should be a very exciting Challenger basketball season again this year. Just hoping that he and his teammates can maybe do a repeat of last year.
Well, certainly there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. Well, you figure what? Off of last year's team, only one senior graduating, Cody Reese.
Very important one, but
yes,
only one senior.
But plenty of reasons for optimism in the Challenger camp. Not only, I think, just the growth and improvement of the players that we already have, but we'll get some new blood in the system. Colson Brown returns to the Rogue Valley, gives us a tall young player, and you know that some of those youngsters like Eli Bryant, Briley Richardson, just to name a couple, are going to be guys that will have an opportunity to step up. And plus,
absolutely,
we got some guys, Jaron Frankowiak, coming to the program, Drew Hall.
Yep.
So it's a great season to look forward to. And I'm pulling up the volleyball schedule just so I can alert you to the next time you can catch the Challenger girls in action. And on their schedule coming up, their next game will be on the 8th at home against Mazama.
Yep.
So that'll be Thursday, September 8th, taking on the Mazama Vikings. Also, we had a lot of numbers out this year for girls soccer, and I know that Jonathan Hillis is continuing to work on building that Challenger girl. They have enough there that when we've talked about this, Mark, about the need, they're going to have enough to have a JV team this year.
Oh, that's going to be really awesome for them.
So, while they continue to grow and rebuild a really young team, but those girls that kind of took their lumps last year, picked up valuable experience, will be another year better. And I know he's been working with them throughout the summer on terms of growth and improvement, and they just came off a Jamboree Tuesday. The Challengers will be at home. Check this out. Lithia Driveway Fields, number 13. The Challenger girls against Lost River Bonanza. Lost River and Bonanza kind of joining forces to provide a girls soccer team. And again, ChallengerAthletics.com is where you can follow what's going on in terms of Cascade Christian Challenger Athletics. We'll also have a write-up tomorrorow for you to take a look at as far as the wrap-up on this ball game. So it's all getting back into gear. And then for Table Rock Sports, action all over Southern Oregon. I know we just got a couple of reports that North Bedford behind early in their ball game in football this evening, while the South Bedford Panthers, if I'm not mistaken, they're leading in theirs. And we'll try to bring that up for you. But while I do that, let's go ahead and take a quick 1-minute break. Thanks for tuning in to the Medford Parks and Rec halftime show here on TableRockSports.net. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
Getting ready to start the second half. Mentioned score to pass along to you. West Lynn leading the North Medford Black Tornado in the second quarter, 31-0. And then let's see here if we can't pull up. And again, you can just quickly, and remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can see on-demand video. Challengers getting ready to kick it away to start the second half. Again, kind of another high short kick. A scramble in the middle of the field. Jack Nips in that pile. And it looked like the return. I believe that's McWhorter.
Yeah, about a 15-yard return, and Douglas going to start out at the 28 or so, 27.
South Medford playing Beaverton this evening. Looks like they're in a commercial break right now. Grants Pass is visiting Shasta this evening. Crater is at North Bend, while Mazama's at Estacada. St. Mary's just up the road at Sutherland. On first down.
Oh, boy.
And immediately, Willis
gets to meet Jackson Turi for a 3-yard loss, as Turi looked like he wasn't even blocked. He was in the backfield as soon as the handoff happened.
Opening moments of the third quarter. Challengers leading in the ball game, as you can see on your John L. Scott scoreboard, 34-6. Robbins in at quarterback as the starter for Douglas now in his street clothes on the sidelines, or at least down to his T-shirt. He's out of his pads now. But once again, you kind of get the feeling that maybe Coach Sean said something in the halftime locker room.
He might have, as Robbins ends up trying to roll out away from that Challenger defense and just gets gobbled up for about a 10-yard loss on second down, unfortunately for Douglas.
John Osdemore, the starting quarterback for the Trojans, he had his moments in the first half, but I think unfortunately that injury came on an interception that he had thrown, and so kind of an insult to, or in this case, injury to insult situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And
unfortunately. Because he showed some real poise under pressure, got off some nice throws. But now Robbins on a 3rd and 21. Completes the pass.
It's a screen.
And short gain on 3rd and long. Gets them out to about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, picked up 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Making the catch is reserve running back Caleb Cathy. Cathy, 5'9", 165.
And so 4th down now, and about 15, 16 yards, so looks like Douglas in punt formation. Challengers should get the football back here.
Back deep to receive, Tyler Almacy back there.
Oh,
high snap. He's just going to keep rolling.
And rolls out of the back of the end zone for a safety.
For a safety.
Through the back of the end zone for a safety.
So the Challengers pick up 2 through an unfortunate series of events for the Trojans, and that's just kind of how the evening has gone.
Well, and not only do the Challengers pick up 2, but remember now Douglas will have to punt from their own 20-yard line, punt or kick, their choice, from their own 20-yard line.
Well, one of the cool things I see this evening, and it's always nice when you see athletes from other sports support others. I see members of the Challengers volleyball team in the house this evening. See Molly Griffin and Madison Todd. I see a couple of other representatives from the team. Saw Maddie Carter here. 9:17 now to go in the third quarter of play. So after the safety, now the Trojans will have to kick it away to Cascade. Have Almacy standing back at about the 42 along with Brody Sample. So now a 36-6 ball game.
Challengers are getting their 2-point conversions back that they missed earlier.
Well, that's one way to do it.
One of them, anyway. Oh, look, the light.
Well, look at some lights starting to come on.
Maybe over there. That would certainly help well, it would help everyone on the field.
So, yeah, they had some problems earlier today. We almost had this game at 4:30.
Yeah.
And there was some diligent hard work by the folks here in Winston. They thought they had it repaired, and then it refused to cooperate come crunch time. So for those of you joining us late, well, if you were late, then you ended up being really late because the game started at 6:30 this evening for that reason.
And trying to make sure they could get it in before It got too dark. And the light standard, though, over there looking like it's making a comeback.
Ball kicked away. Tyler Almacy with it. He'll go ahead and cut across the grain. Works over toward the far sideline. Scampers up. He's got some running room. And he keeps his feet and gets the Challengers inside the red zone where they'll set up shop for their first series offensively of the second half.
Yeah, nice return by him as he returns it from the 45 of the Challengers all the way down, it looks like, to about the 15-yard line, 15-yard line, I think. So sets up the Challengers in really good field position.
So 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Tristan Wallace with the football. He crosses the 10, the 5, and he scores.
16-yard run by Tristan Wallace.
Touchdown Challengers. Tristan Wallace punches it in to make it a 42-6 ball game.
And just like the Challengers scored on the first play of the first half, they score again on the first play, their first offensive play of the second half.
So there we go. Now we get a little bit better visibility, a little light on the subject now as the Challengers. It looks like they're going to attempt the point after.
Well, who's going to kick it? Mason, it looks like.
Mason Hoffman. And it looks like, what, Almacy, I think, with the hold? So Mason Hoffman, starting linebacker, kicks it up, and it is good. Mason Hoffman on his first point after attempt of the season converts, and the Challengers open up a 37-point lead. It's 43-6. We'll be right back after these messages on TableRockSports.net.
Dear Dad, today was hard. You know how much I love you, and you know how much I love sports. I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports, I love to play, and I love my team. I want us both to enjoy the game, win or lose. But we can't if you always lose your temper. I hope you can cheer for me and the other players. It's about more than just the score. It's about us all enjoying the experience. I hope you can join me for my next game. I really want you to be there. Love, Katie.
Mason Hoffman kicking it away for Cascade Christian after the Challengers score. It is Willis on the return. And it looks like as the game goes on, Hoffman beginning to get a little bit more depth on his kicks. And speaking of Hoffman, you were talking about he had a very successful summer campaign in basketball.
Yeah, I really enjoyed working with him this summer, and he made some great strides, I thought, in his game. And so that's going to be fun to see his improvement as the basketball season rolls around. But good to see him in here playing linebacker for the Challenger football team as well. And you know, when you go to a small school like these kids do for Cascade, you got to play all the sports.
There you go. On first down for the Trojans.
Or maybe I should say you get to play.
There you go. It sure helps. And, you know, that's one of the things I always liked is the recognition they give to Cascade Christian's three sport athletes with their portraits in the gymnasium, and I see where they're doing some work in terms of doing some sprucing up visually, and then we got some really neat things to talk about down the road, but I think it would almost, for me, to be an injustice to try to describe it and better be able to show it on Table Rock Sports come basketball season.
Now Robbins bobbles the snap and ends up losing several yards on a sack by Turi in there to knock him back.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and long for the Challengers with 6:13 to go and counting in the third quarter of play. Challengers in the driver's seat, moving the football at will, making some big plays on defense.
Yeah, so far in the half, the Douglas Trojans minus 25 yards rushing and only 5 yards passing here in the third quarter.
Robbins, the sophomore quarterback, in for Osdemore, getting a little baptism by fire, as you can see there. He is taken down to bring up a 4th and long as the Trojans get ready to kick it away.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like any high school team, when you lose your number one quarterback, in a ball game, it's very hard for the team to respond to the other quarterback typically, and that's kind of what we've seen so far with the Trojans.
Yeah, there's been, for Moody, the backup quarterback to Challenger senior Keith Reed, he's had some time to get prepared for this role. Short punt. Looks like that'll go down about the 42-yard line. Ball's loose. Trojans say they have it. So a little conference there. And
now they're going to talk about it. Now, the rule on a punt is if the punting team touches the ball first, then anyone on the field can pick it up and run with it. But on the Challenger side, anyone can pick it up and run with it with no penalty. So if one of the Douglas Trojans touched it first, then it should be Challenger ball right there. However, if the Challengers touched it first, then it's a live ball at that point. So that's what they're trying to decide.
It'll be Challenger ball.
Is who touched it first, and they made the decision that it was touched by Douglas first, and so then it doesn't matter if the Challengers touched it, and that's kind of the way it works in high school football. And I think that's generally true all the way up, actually, because you'll see that sometimes in the higher levels of football where one of the defense, one of the punting team players will touch the ball, and then somebody else will go try and grab it and run with it.
So the call, much to the chagrin of the Trojan faithful in attendance this evening, they thought they may have picked up a turnover and some good field position out of it, but the officiating crew determining otherwise.
And now the Challengers back on offense again.
Challengers come out with twin receivers to either side. Moody at quarterback. And Wallace in the backfield with them. Moody throws, completes the pass to Peyton Maurer. Maurer has running room down the sideline. He could take it all the way, and he does.
Yeah, nice job by Maurer avoiding a tackle and able to take it 42 yards to the house. First time we've seen Maurer catch a football tonight.
It's been kind of a quiet night for him, but he ends up scoring, and for Ashton Moody, the first lefty quarterback in Challengers program history, he gets his second touchdown pass of the night.
Yep, nice job by him getting the ball out quick and on time to Peyton and giving him a chance to make a little move and get up the field for the touchdown.
Mason Hoffman, his first attempt of the evening was good, and now he'll have another opportunity. And he's another guy you can see he has grown over the summer.
Yes, he has.
His kick, end over end, it is up. Right down Broadway, it is good.
Well, what we've seen from him so far, it looks like he can kick extra points. I'm not so sure why they weren't doing that earlier, but.
Well, now he's sighted in.
Yeah, I guess so.
3:04 left to go in the third quarter of play. The Challengers, they lead this one 50-6. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
We love our sports here.
It's our responsibility to keep them great. And we need you to know your role.
You can be a player,
You can be a coach, you can be a spectator,
or an official.
But you only get to be one. Know your role.
Parents, release your kid to the game.
It's my experience.
Don't yell at the refs, they have a hard job.
Know your role.
Players, respect your opponents.
Love to play, win or lose.
Know your role.
So what do when you get injured in a motorcycle accident and you need legal help? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Back just a little late from the break, and a nice return by the Trojans gives them good field position, but they trail in the ball game by a score of 50-6.
Brandon Van Wert on the tackle.
Brandon in there, a junior this year. His older brother, Dominic Lewis, former Challenger basketball player, now going to college at Utah State. And then he's got a younger sister, Gwen, who's in middle school, who likes to run and do track. Well, this is a tall team that the Challengers have.
Really is.
Must be something in the water. You see Hoffman out there at 6'4", kind of stands out. Ragu's at about 6'2". And these guys kind of make...
Jackson Turi at 6'4", Bryson Jackson at 6'2". I mean, it's one of the bigger Challenger football teams I think we've ever seen since we've been doing Challenger games.
Well, to show you how big they are, they kind of make Tristan Wallace and Cole Shields, who are not small fries, look short. Pass nearly completed, but dropped. Intended target, Kahiki Nielsen. He's been a busy man in the Trojan passing game tonight. Pass falls incomplete.
Trying to look at where he was going to run with it before he caught it all the way, because it was a well-thrown ball right to him. He just couldn't hang on.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 12.
Clock running 1:08 to go here in the first quarter. I mean the third quarter, excuse me.
Handoff, and a nice burst up the middle by Willis. Picks up first down yardage and more. Pickup of about 12 on the play.
Yeah, nice blocking that time, and right through the middle of the Challenger defense for a first down.
Giving the hometown faithful a little something to cheer for here late in the ball game. Timeout called on the field. Gives us an opportunity to talk to you, the fan, and remind you it's time to get back in the game. As an official, there is a critical need in all sports right now. Go to osaa.org and click on the blue Become an Official button to learn more. We hope to see you back on the field or on the court soon. So the sun is down. We have a half moon out tonight.
And we're thankful that light pole is now functional.
Yes.
Because it didn't look like that was going to happen for a while.
Report from up north. West Lynn now with a 45-0 lead against the Black Tornado.
West Lynn must be for real.
I guess so. And then looking from Sutherland, the St. Mary's Crusaders, the Challengers' crosstown rival, leading Sutherland 35-0.
Wow.
Bulldogs will be the Challengers' opponent next week. Robbins out of the shotgun, first down and 10, near midfield. He's going to throw a little jump pass, and it's picked off. Tyler Almacy there. He'll take it. He goes on the return out toward the far sideline. He crosses midfield as he scampers. Has some running room there.
Intercepted by Tyler Almacy.
Tyler with the pick. And the Challengers get it back with about 18 seconds left to go in the third quarter of play.
And I think that clock's going to keep running and run out, as a matter of fact. And it'll be the end of the third quarter.
So Cascade Christian turning it up here in the third quarter. They lead in the ball game 50-6. That'll end the third quarter of play. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
What is a getaway? Is it leaving the familiar behind? Or discovering a place that feeds your hunger? Where passion sings, food is a culture, and every performance demands an encore. So let the journey be your destination. Then feast your eyes and nourish your soul in Southern Oregon. Your reservation starts when you travel Medford.
It's Jeep Adventure Days going on now at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course Ram trucks. Choose from our great selection of new Jeep Gladiator 4x4s or test drive a new 22 Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. During Jeep Adventure Days, you'll save big on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
New quarterback in the game for Cascade Christian. Looks like Caleb Scaglione in there.
Scaglione getting his opportunity here this evening as the challengers let the young guys get some opportunities to play. Also see in the challenger lineup Derek Farmer.
Yeah, it looks like the JV squad is out there for Cascade Christian. Scaglione.
Pass through the hands of the intended target.
That was Dylan Westlake out there.
Dylan Westlake, scrappy young basketball player, also goalkeeper for the Challengers soccer team as a freshman. And he's getting some playing opportunities here late in the ball game. Also, we see in the ball game for the Challengers, number 27 is sophomore Ezra Padilla. So there's a cast of thousands that have just checked into the ball game. Scaglione, he'll go ahead and keep it. Scampers around the edge, shakes his tackler. We have a flag on the play. And at about the point where Mark, I would probably expect a hold
on one of the receivers, unfortunately.
Also seeing in the ball game for the Challengers, Zach Cook, sophomore. And Jack Nips in the ball game.
They just moved the chains, so I'm trying to figure out what they did. So now they're going to move the chains back. Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. It's the officials' first game of the year, too. You're not supposed to move the chains when there's a flag. So, yeah, they'll figure it out over there, hopefully.
Also in the ball game is another guy that's done some growing over the summer, Luke Ryder, in on that offensive line for Cascade. Scaglione out of the gun, hands off, and Padilla scampers up the field. Ezra Padilla, sophomore, 5'5", 140 pounds. So he's kind of at the other end of the scale for Cascade Christian in terms of size.
And he picks up about 6 yards and a first down.
Over there joining Westlake out over on the left side. It looks like Carson Willard's in the ball game. And Scaglione, he's going to go to the far edge. Man, that kid can move.
Yeah, he's quick.
And it looks like he'll pick up some first down yardage. 9:21 as the clock keeps on running here in the fourth quarter of play. Matt Moses comes out of the ball game for Cascade. Looks like Jackson Turi checks in. Scaglione with Padilla next to him.
Keeps it himself up the middle. Picks up 2 or 3 yards.
So, yeah, you got to see that kid's got some wheels. Caleb Scaglione, a freshman, 5'7", 140 pounds.
And they're just matriculating their way down the field so far.
In motion, Westlake. Padilla spins around.
Don't think he got much on that carry. third down now and goal, I believe, at about the 6. A little hard to tell on this field. Still having trouble with that a little bit.
Oh, and a sighting of the victory cigar.
Oh, there you go.
Kellen Klecker
in the game.
Yep, he's checked in, wearing number 4. Cousin to Mason Hoffman, Kellen's dad, Rob, the volleyball coach, in his 11th year with the program.
Not quite as many as Coach Morris.
No, I don't think anybody's catching up anytime soon to that. Coach Morris will be coming up on his 34th season. Pass complete to Westlake. Westlake just short of the goal line. Gets it down to the 3. So Westlake getting in on the stat sheet. Now we have wholesale substitutions in the ball game.
Turnover on downs there, Jim.
So, okay. My apologies.
So little turnover on downs by the Challengers, which they don't care. They're just trying to run the clock. 7 minutes now to go in the game. Clock running. Oh, no, wait a minute. They're going to kick a field goal. I thought that was 4th down on the play before. My bad.
I thought, okay,
You're right.
you know.
You're right. I didn't realize.
It's opening week, folks.
Yes, it is.
And Mason Hoffman, his kick is up.
And he's pretty excited about making that field goal.
Mason Hoffman.
Only from
his first field goal try of his varsity career and his first make.
23 yards out. There you go.
So now with 6:38 left to go in the ball game, the Challengers lead by a score of 53-6. Little tip of the hat to Mason Hoffman as we kind of set up shop now, get ready for the ensuing kickoff, and that will give me an opportunity to remind you that tickets are on sale now for the Medford Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet, October 22nd at the Rogue Valley Country Club. Social hour at 5, dinner and awards begin at 5. Go to MedfordParksFoundation.org and click the events tab. Yeah, that's Sports Hall of Fame. That's a really nice thing that they've got there, because it's really when you realize that the Medford area, Southern Oregon, has a very rich sports history.
Yeah, a lot of good athletes in Southern Oregon over the years.
Also, some recognition to those who've made major contributions, whether it's through coaching or maybe as officials or perhaps journalists, members of the sports media.
See if the Challengers get a flag. I count 12 Challengers out there on the kickoff.
And then on top of that,
it goes out of bounds.
It goes out of bounds.
So I guess it doesn't matter how many people you have at that point. Douglas going to get the football at the 35 and 1st and 10. And with 6:28 to go in this one, Challengers have pretty much showed you what they're gonna do this year. At least initially, I think. They're going to run the football. They're going to make you stop them. And so far, Douglas was not able to do that tonight, as the Challengers so far with 245 yards of rushing yards, running the football and taking advantage of a lot of short fields and doing it to get their 53 points on the board.
Well, and taking advantage of that 3-headed monster they have at running back when you have Wallace, you have Ragu, you have Shields.
Yes. Well, when Brody Sample was as good as he was last year, and he's not even carrying the football this year.
I got a funny feeling we're going to see a fair amount of he and Tyler Almacy on the fly sweep, which I don't recall us using much of this evening.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. As those plays get tidied up a little bit with the new quarterback and all those kind of things, those are real timing plays. Those fly sweeps.
2nd down and 9 after the pickup of 1. 5:30. Clock winding down. And the Challenger defense with a stop. Loss of yardage on the play. Willis, who's been a busy man in that ground game for the Trojans this evening.
Yeah, unfortunately, Douglas only with 84 yards rushing, even though they've ran the football 24 times. So the Challenger defense, especially in the second half, has been really good.
So 3rd down and 10 for Robbins and the Trojans. Twin receivers, right and left. Robbins looks left. Pass caught. Making the catch, Sage Baker, the 5'10 senior receiver. He'll pick up about 3 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Brings up 4th and 8 for the Trojans.
All things being equal, the Challengers will be at home next week against the Sutherland Bulldogs, who are taking their lumps this evening to the St. Mary's Crusaders.
Well, and you got to give credit to St. Mary's. Remember, after being out of football, playing an independent schedule, they're finally back, and they have a real nice football program to show for it.
Well, what's interesting about them is and talking about St. Mary's, is they came into the summer without a quarterback. Eli Haynes had been at the controls for the last couple of seasons, and after 4 years of Aliloa Wailahua in the program. And
easy for you to say.
Yeah, and then Tyson Del Planche, the guy that we remember as a running back and a defensive back, he's taken over. He's stepped up and says, I'll do it. And so St. Mary's, they got to be feeling good about how things look in their season opener.
Suspect that they're doing similar to what we saw Douglas try to do at the beginning of this game, which is spread the field and run the football. We'll have to see when we play them a little later in the season here.
On 1st down, and now running with the football. Moving upfield.
Derek Farmer in at quarterback.
Derek, just a freshman, so he's getting an opportunity to get some varsity snaps.
2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, clock running here in the 4th quarter. Challengers lead 53-6, and it's been impressive for Cascade Christian, especially on the ground throughout this one.
So it looks like essentially Farmer and Scaglione have traded places.
Yep.
Pass complete. Throws it out in the flat. Running to the sideline. And making the reception of Scaglione. Scaglione, very well represented in Challenger athletics. Over the years, Andy Scaglione, the JV head coach for the Challenger football program. Then his boys, Braden and Christian, come through the program, and now Braden, a swim coach at Cascade. And then there's some cousins in the whole program with Miley Scaglione, who is running cross country this year after a couple of years of soccer. Running with a football, Farmer saying, hey, I can run too. And he picks up 1st down yardage.
Yeah, it looks like he got about 15 yards on the carry. And another Challenger 1st down as they keep the clock running.
Update from the Snack Shack. Popcorn, pretzels, and hot dogs are all half price.
262 yards so far for the Challengers on the ground.
That's a good night's work.
91 yards passing, so 350 yards of offense for Cascade Christian, and not too bad for a football game in which the second half was a running clock. And the Challengers are going to take a knee, and I think that will do it.
So the Cascade Christian Challengers, opening night of the season, they all come away with a win. And a win in a rather resounding fashion after a successful jamboree last week. We turn around right around this week, and with Ashton Moody making his first varsity start at quarterback. He has some big-time help from running backs Tristan Wallace and Cameron Ragu. And Cameron, I would say, if I were going to pick a player of the game, I would be probably pretty tempting to go with him.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 touchdowns today, and And every time he came into the game, did a great job offensively, but also on the defensive side, and from his safety spot, made an interception and made some good tackles and pass breakups as well. So,
all right, well, that horn sounds, and that tells us the Cascade Christian Challengers are winners. They end up taking the first game of the season, winning by a score of 53-6. We'll take a quick timeout, and then we'll be back with our post-game show here on TableRockSports.net.
I'm Pat Cox with Sherm's Food Stores. The employees of Sherm's are proud to be part of your community.
We have thousands of customers in our stores every day, and our checkers know a lot of them on a first-name basis. They tend to enjoy what they do, and they love it, so it reflects in how they treat the customer.
If you live anywhere in Southern Oregon, there's a Sherm's store near you. We hope to see you soon.
If you shop with us, you will save money.
Fuel up for your race day adventures with Pinnacle 365. Pit for your early morning caffeine fix to help you get off to a good start and be rewarded with free motivation. Stay hydrated as you ride into Turn 2. And if fountain drinks are your thing, get your 6th free. Add Crunch to your lunch as you head into Turn 3. Fuel up for the remainder of the race with your Peak Rewards app and save at least 16 cents a gallon. Your daily journey to the winner's circle starts at Pinnacle 365.
Back at Douglas High School in Winston, the Cascade Christian Challengers opened their campaign in winning fashion by taking down the Douglas Trojans by a score of 53-6. And we welcome you to the Southern Oregon Sports Commission's Know Your Role postgame show, which comes to you. And I want to remind you about the travelmedford.org and search Know Your Role to see how this campaign is changing the culture of youth sports for the better. Let's recap the scoring from the ball game. Opening things up, first play from scrimmage. Ashton Moody racks up a touchdown pass to Brody Sample. The 2-point conversion no good, and the Challengers are out front 12-0. Then just about 5 minutes later, the Challengers, Cameron Ragu gets into the act. He scores on a 6-yard run, 2-point conversion attempt no good as the score goes 12-0. The Douglas Trojans come up with an answer. They showed good proclivity for moving the football in the first half. We saw Alex Medianu scamper for a 70-yard score. The 2-point conversion run, no good, as it becomes a 12-6 ball game. 3 minutes later, the Challengers answer on their final score of the quarter as Cole Shields punches it in from 1 yard out. 2-point conversion, no good, and your score after one is 18-6. Then in the second quarter, the Challengers tack on a pair of scores. Cameron Ragu scores on a 7-yard TD run. The 2-point conversion run by Ashton Moody, good to make it 26-6. Then with 1:57 to go in the half, it was Cameron Ragu on a 3-yard touchdown run. The 2-point conversion run by Tristan Wallace, good to make it 34-6, and that was our halftime score. In the third quarter, Challengers pick up 2 on a safety. A snap by the Trojans on special teams ends up going high through the back of the end zone, and that extends the Challenger lead 36-6. And then less than a minute later, it would be Tristan Wallace scoring on a 16-yard touchdown run, point after attempt by Mason Hoffman, good to make it 43-6. Then in the third quarter, a touchdown pass from Ashton Moody to Peyton Maurer. Point after attempt by Hoffman, good to make it 50-6. And then finally to cap off the scoring in the fourth quarter, Mason Hoffman with his first high school field goal, a 23-yarder to give us our final score of 53-6. Mark, I'm out of breath, but it looks like you got the stats ready.
I do. It was one of those games that in the second half especially, you mentioned it. You said Coach Sean must have talked to the defense at halftime because Douglas, who had 103 yards rushing in the first half, only ended the game with 84 as that defense was very tough, sacking the quarterback and dumping the running backs for loss in that second half. They did have 50 yards, however, in passing in the second half, but only 50 yards passing and minus 18 yards rushing. So the Challenger defense just phenomenal in the second half. All the way around. Douglas ends the game with 10 first downs. They had 9 in the first half, so only 1 first down as well in that second half. They run the ball 23 times for just 84 yards. Passing for the Trojans, 8 for 20 for just 113 yards. They did have a couple of interceptions as well that hurt them in this football game. Return yards, they had 100 yards in return, so 297 yards overall for Douglas. And you take off those return yards, only 197 for the Douglas Trojans. So nice job defensively. The Challenger defense looked very good today, I thought. Anyway, 2 penalties for Douglas for 15 yards, so pretty clean for them. 1 fumble that the Challengers turned into a quick touchdown after a muffed kickoff. So Douglas, they've got a lot of work to do after tonight, but, they showed some signs of life in that first half until their quarterback went down, and then it got quite a bit worse from there. For the Challengers, however, total offense for them, 453 yards. They had 31 carries for 262 yards rushing the football, passing 5 for 11 for 91 yards, and the 1 interception by Ashton Moody. First downs, a total of 15 for the Challengers. Return yards also around 100 for Cascade Christian. Total offense for the Challengers, 453 yards in the football game. They did have 4 penalties for 45 yards, and they did have that 1 late turnover on downs deep in Douglas territory where they just went for it there because it was late in the game. But it's a really good football game all the way around for Cascade Christian. Loved the offensive line play where they kind of dominated the line of scrimmage on offense, especially, well, really on both sides of the ball, but really opening up some holes for those running backs. You mentioned Ragu with the 4 touchdowns. Tristan Wallace getting some huge gains as well, and dominating the football game on the ground and at the line of scrimmage.
A good all-around effort to open the season for Cascade Christian as they get their 2022 campaign started the right way. And the post-game show has been brought to you by the Medford Southern Oregon Sports Commission Know Your Role campaign. Well, that'll wrap things up from Winston, where the Challengers defeat the Douglas Trojans by a score of 53-6. I want to thank our executive producer, Joe Brett, and also our cameraman, David Alvarez, for joining us and making the road trip this evening. For Mark McLemore, I'm Jim McCoy. Have a great evening, everybody, and a great and safe Labor Day weekend. We'll see you next week.